encourage the organization of computer programming, engineering, robotics or other courses that are enhanced with lessons from digital culture, art, ethics and media literacy. That will truly empower the young citizens.
Hi, my name is Laurent Touché and I am a Code Week ambassador for France. The EU Code Week is for everyone because all our students will live tomorrow in a digital world. During the last Code Week, I was with pupils from 4 to 16 and a teacher to accompany them in coding discovery. Boys and girls were able to manipulate robots or to participate in unplugged activities with students in school difficulties or in a classroom at the hospitals. These experiences allow them to value themselves and to boost their academic perseverance. Boys and girls express the same motivation, the same interest. All students show their own talent. So, join the EU Code Week.
Hi, I'm Linda Sinka, one of EU Code Week ambassadors for Latvia. EU Code Week is about cooperation, whether it's building educational game, website, app or self-driving robot. It's all about great teamwork and moreover, it's fun to build projects together. Activities such hackathons, Hour of Code initiative, pair programming are great examples how we promote collaboration among children of different age and experience. EU Code Week is also about cooperation among teachers and educators across all Europe. We share materials, knowledge and discuss main challenges. For some, coding may be individual work, however, it calls for cooperation and teamwork more than ever to solve 21st century challenges and build long-lasting solutions together.
Hi, my name is Mariana Privte, and I'm the Code Week ambassador for Albania. EU Code Week encourages creativity and innovation because it offers tons of programming resources aimed at promoting new ideas and empowering as many people as possible in Europe and all around the world. Here at EU Code Week, we believe that coding is a powerful, integrative and collaborative way of thinking and learning. Coding teaches children to experiment, to think in multiple ways. It promotes cognitive development and nurtures creativity. So whether you want to travel the space, fight climate change, make world a better place, or simply pursue a career in the 21st century, remember, digital skills are essential skills to learn that would allow you to build confidence in an ever-growing digital world.
and welcome to the kickoff of the 8th edition of EU Code Week. My name is Annika Östergren-Pofantis, and this is my colleague Jakub Kajtman.
Hello.
Hi, and we work together at European Commission leading the EU Code Week team.
Thank you very much for connecting. We have a full and packed agenda in front of us. Many great speakers, many great guests, but we also, of course, are connecting with you, and thank you for being there on Facebook or on YouTube. I already saw that only the countdown attracted over 200 viewers, so I think more and more of you will be there. If you want to interact with us, please comment under a Facebook post or just tweet with the hashtag CodeWeek.
Together with our distinguished guest today, we're going to talk about coding, about Code Week. Jakub here is going to give us a tour of the website. We're going to speak to Alessandro Bogliolo about the Code Week dance activities. That's a new package we're launching this year. And we're also going to talk about how you physically and remotely can connect and take part in EU Code Week activities.
Because indeed, in these difficult times, we try to bring more of Code Week online. And we will also connect today with schools and kids and students and teachers. So we will have students from Ireland, students from Finland. We will have teachers from Greece, teachers from France. We will connect to all over Europe just to discuss and share the best examples and the good experience that people all around Europe have with Code Week and coding in general.
So what do you think, Jakub? Shall we kick it off? Time to start?
Let's start the Code Week 2020 edition, and as we are in Brussels, we invited a very special guest to actually kick off the 2020 edition. This person has, since his whole life, has been in technology and has worked really in technology and understood how a simple line of code can actually change the world. And he knows it very well. So we have a pleasure, and I have a pleasure to welcome a video message from the European Commissioner for Internal Market, Thierry Breton, who recorded a short video to welcome everyone in this kickoff meeting of Code Week 2020. So please, dear Commissioner, the floor is yours.
Hello everyone. I'm Thierry Breton, member of the European Commission in charge of the internal market and digital matters. I am responsible for the European Union's actions and initiatives around business and industry. I also help businesses and other organizations to make the most of digital technologies. Digital technologies have always been close to my heart. I am an engineer. I studied computer science, and I have worked my whole life in technology. Actually, my first mission was to teach IT and math at the French Lycée in New York. Understanding computer programming and what is behind the screen have helped me to innovate, create businesses, and build them up to global market leaders. Decades ago, working with technologies was for geeks. Today, digital skills and computing is not only for those who want to become engineers or tech enthusiasts. It is for everyone. We all work or study on computers. We drive cars and stream TV series and films thanks to millions of line codes. We tend to forget, but everything in digital technology starts with a line of code. It makes your phone tell you if it is sunny outside. It sends money to your banking account, orders pizza, and moves to the biggest machine in the world remotely. That's how powerful a single line of symbol can be, a line of code. Being able to understand it, to write it in a meaningful sequence, is truly the superpower of the 21st century. And those who participate in EU Code Week take a first step to acquire this skill. Steve Jobs once said that everyone should learn how to program a computer because it teaches you how to think. I agree. Coding trains you to think logically and be critical, to break problems into smaller pieces, solve them, work with others, and communicate. These skills are really useful in school, at work, at home. By learning to code, you also learn to critically master the digital world, and you learn how to create new things. I am very proud that the Commission supports EU Code Week. Over the last 7 years, nearly 10 million young people have participated. They've moved beyond just sharing and liking. They have taken control and learned to make the most of digital technologies. Today, Europe faces an unprecedented situation, not only when it comes to our health, but the whole economy and society are suffering from the impact of the pandemic. And I believe that young people with the right talent and skills can do their part to make Europe more resilient and help our continent to lead on new technologies. No doubt, a lot of work is still ahead of us. Today, 1 in 4 Europeans does not have enough digital skills. EU Code Week is a perfect movement to change this. Together we can empower kids, adults, elderly people, teachers or librarians to make the most of digital technology. Take the opportunity and learn, or teach also others, just how to code. Create your own game or story, or why not your first app? Dig into robotics. Find out more about how algorithms influence your life, and check out what you can do with 3D printing. Throw yourself into the world of tech. Discover it. Use your imagination and have a lot of fun. I wish you all the best for the 8th edition of EU Code Week.
Dear Commissioner, thank you very, very much for these inspiring words. Annika, I think we can now announce that Code Week 2020 has been launched.
There it is. There we go.
Yay.
So, Jakub, do you know Scratch?
I know Scratch. I've tried it several times, actually.
Very good.
Yeah.
So, for those who don't know, it's like a visual programming language. You use puzzle pieces, and as a matter of fact, even I can program a little bit with it. My children are, of course, much better than I am. But it helped them to understand the basics of computational thinking and coding. It has inspired millions of children and some elderly people as well around the world to explore coding, to create stuff with coding, and show them that it's really a lot of fun. I love it. We are really happy to have a guest with us today who actually invented Scratch.
So it's actually the guy who invented
it,
right? It's the man. And the man is sitting now in the US. His name is Mitch Resnick, and he works at the MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where he is a director of a lifelong kindergarten group and a professor. And most of all, he has a beautiful background in his video. Hello, Mitch. How are you?
Hi, it's great to be with you.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much.
So it's wonderful to be joining you for kicking off EU Code Week. I think we've been participating on the Scratch team for many years, and it's always been a joy to be able to connect with educators and students and to share some of the possibilities and opportunities of coding.
Yeah, we think EU Code Week is like, the aim of EU Code Week is to spread coding to as many people as possible. We think we share this with you, with the Scratch team. Is it so? And how do you think Scratch will help kids to understand technology better?
Yeah, so I think, with Scratch, our goal has always been to really help young people grow up to develop their thinking, as was just described, but also to develop their voice, to enable them to express themselves, share their ideas with others. So we really see coding as a new type of writing the same way that you learn to write to share your ideas with others. With coding, you can share your ideas with others.
And really, do you think that starting as soon as possible or around the age of 10, for example, is this the right age, and is this where what you would recommend for anyone who wants to really understand this technology of today?
I think it's the same way of when do you have children learn to write? When they're ready to start expressing their stories. And I think from an early age, we want children to tell their stories. They might start by drawing pictures with crayons. As they grow older, they start learning words and telling their stories by, orally, and then writing stories. Coding can come at the same time. You can make animated stories. So it's a new way for children just to express themselves, just as they do with writing.
And so what is your story in this sense? How did you come up with the idea to develop Scratch and to actually turn what for some might seem a complex text coding and text code into this visual version of code and algorithms?
Well, we really wanted to make sure that Scratch would be available for everyone, for all children, from all backgrounds. And actually, my colleague Natalie and myself, we'd started a network of after-school learning centers called computer clubhouses for young people in inner-city communities. Many of them had not had opportunities in the past, and they were using technologies, this back in the 1990s, and we saw that many of them wanted to create their own interactive games and stories and animations, but they couldn't use traditional programming languages like Java or C++, but they wanted to make their own stories and games. So that motivated us. We saw there was a real need. So we want to create something that was suitable for them to start creating their own interactive dynamic games.
Can I ask you, it's been a question since I started the Scratch, how come you choose a cat as the main character?
So actually, when we first started, my first idea was to use a fantasy character. And in fact, those people out there who know Scratch, you might know the character called Gobo. Gobo was actually our first thought, we might make that the main character. But then as we started using it, we saw we weren't quite sure what to call it because it was just this character. We wanted to have something a little more familiar in children's lives. And we know that many children like cats. So it's basically just something that was familiar and playful, and it worked well.
Okay, now Mitch, from the 90s, as you described, when you were building the Scratch from scratch, actually, the community grew. I checked just your website today, and there are 60 million users registered, and the number is growing and growing. Of course, most of them around the age between 10 and 15, but also older. Now, what do these users find most interesting, or what are the most popular activities or actions that they can do on Scratch? Do you have an overview in that?
Yeah, first of all, it's great you refer to the community, because to us, that was a really important part of Scratch from the beginning. Right when we launched Scratch in 2007, it was not just a programming language, but also a community where children could share their creations with one another. And I think that community has played a really important role, because as children share their projects in the community, they have an audience. They have other people can try out what they have, give them feedback and encouragement, and they can see what other children have created, and they can get inspiration. So it's now this very active online community where children are creating things, getting ideas from one another, and building on each other's work. We set up the community to encourage children to collaborate, to remix projects, to build on one another's work. And in there, children are learning not just to reason systematically, as they do when they learn to code, but also learning to think creatively, come up with new ideas, and to work collaboratively with others. And we think those are all essential skills for children in today's world.
So if I understand correctly, and I guess you would agree that starting with Scratch and starting with coding does not actually mean that you then need to...
I'm not hearing you.
Sorry.
Do you hear me?
Do you hear Annika?
Do you hear me? No?
Can you hear us?
No, he cannot hear us anymore.
Once more, we all try to say...
We say something.
Okay, I just wanted to ask if you can hear me. Can you hear me, Mitch, or not? Is there an issue with sound? No, okay. It seems that we might have an issue with some technology there. We might try to reconnect to the video conference. So in the meantime, maybe Annika, can you remind a little bit? So Code Week is the 8th edition this year. How was it? How was your story? When Mitch was talking about his story, how was your story of Code Week, and how did it start back 8 years ago?
So it was in 2013. We had this group of enthusiastic young people who were they were kind of working for as volunteers for the European Commission, and we wanted it was like a think tank for the digital single market and what was needed. And they came up, I think it was like September, they came up one year, we should do this. We should have a code day or something. We should have a code week in Europe. And they launched it, and the first year, I think they had 4 weeks to prepare. They put a map online, and in 4 weeks we had, I think, 30,000 people participating.
Great.
Yeah, really good. And since then it has grown a lot every year, more and more. Last year we had 4.2 million people participating.
And more people, of course, involved also in the community. I'm just trying to check again whether we have a connection now with Mitch. Mitch, can you hear us now? No, I don't think. No, Mitch, okay. I think he cannot yet hear us. Because we then have some other guests. We have teachers who are now connecting from Finland and from France.
From Greece.
Sorry, from Greece and from
We have Michael Clergeau and Dimitra Purnara. Do you hear us? Okay. Okay. It seems that we still have some technical issues. We will probably need to reconnect our Zoom, our video conference technology.
I'm muted by the host.
Oh, there we are, Dimitra.
I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear us now.
The host wanted to unmute me, but I will mute back.
So you hear us now?
Do you hear us? Mitch or Dimitra?
Do thumbs up if you hear us.
No, I don't think.
No.
I think it's on our side actually where we need to reconnect to the video conference. I hope that the production team is already working on that, and we will reconnect.
I can tell you something though. Well, the first time I did something in Scratch, actually was my son who wanted to go and do a project. He heard about this like coding club. And he went there, and it was
but it's very good to be here with you.
Wonderful to see his eyes when he actually, from just playing Minecraft, and playing all kinds of game, and he actually went there.
They're telling me to leave Zoom and reconnect, so I'm going to disconnect and then reconnect.
Okay, and in like 1-2 hours, he had put together a game where was a little shark was chasing a fish. Yeah. And to see this, and then there came in a student from like the University of Leuven, or I don't know, here in Belgium, and came in and looked at him and looked what he had done in 1.5 hours. And this guy, big, hunky guy, just like, wow. And my son's eyes were really twinkling. So it's a really powerful thing to do stuff. Instead of just liking and sharing and consuming, I would say.
Indeed. And I also remember that when I worked with Scratch for the first time, I actually thought before that it would be much more complicated. That it would take me hours and hours to learn how to put together a first, studio and first thing to first project. But it was actually pretty fast. I mean, I did not create much of the thing. I uploaded some character, and then it was turning like this in a clockwise and a counterclockwise. But indeed, I mean, it's a great tool to start with on coding. And as Mitch said, the objective there is the same as with Code Week, bringing the tools and bringing the technology to everyone, and empowering everyone. Because this is what I also wanted to ask Mitch, that what he did with the Scratch and for the community, it's not only for the tech enthusiasts and it's not only for the geeks. It's basically empowering anyone so that people can use the technology in a meaningful way and understand what is going on behind the screens. And now we are also trying to understand what is going on behind our screens and behind the virtual bridges that we have across Europe. So I'm just wondering whether, I see now Dimitra. Dimitra, can you hear us? No, I think Dimitra cannot hear us anymore. But let's try it again to reconnect. But okay, Annika, now we talk Code Week 2020. So it's the 2020 edition in these difficult times. I already mentioned it. We will go online a lot, or we are trying to move online. So what are your expectations now? Do you believe that this will be again a successful year?
Well, it's always a successful year, right? No, but I think it's very important to give this opportunity to everyone, even if you have to stay at home. And during spring, we actually Alessandro Bogliolo, who you will meet later, together with him, we developed a series of activities called Coding at Home. It's like a video. And you can you play a board game. So these videos are on our website. So they're about computational thinking, and I mean it's not coding on the computer. Yeah. You don't even need a computer. You play the game, and they're quite challenging stuff in there. Yeah. So it's good for if at some point you lose the internet connection and you don't know what to do at home. Unfortunately, we don't have these videos now with us because we could have played at least. But I hope that at least we are still online on Facebook. I'm actually going to check while we are connecting. So it seems that our technicians are now really hard working in order to connect us back with all our guest speakers. And all those whom we invited. Yes, in the meantime, I can say also that we have quite a few resources online. Yeah. We have developed, because we were thinking that for teachers, I mean, they're of course very skilled computer science teachers all over Europe, but there are also many teachers that could use coding as a tool in their teaching. So we have what we call learning bits. It's like tutorials, short videos, and then we have lesson plans. So they are for primary school, lower secondary, and upper secondary school. And they are there. I think we have around 11 of them. They are translated to all 29 languages. So it's the EU languages and the Western Balkan languages. And we also have a lot of resources.
Yes, indeed, we have resources done either by us or we have also resources from other organizations, from companies. We have the big names from technology as well contributing. But basically anyone, also the teacher community. I might mention here also the teacher group that we have on Facebook with more than 13,000, I think, teachers now. And so these are the active teachers who want to become a part of the EU Code Week community. So if we have some teachers who would like to join, just go on Facebook and join the Facebook group there. Now, I wanted also to mention another thing which has been with Code Week for a very long time, and it's the Code Week map. Because it's a tool that actually shows you the impact of Code Week. When you open the website, the EU Code Week website, and you see the map with all the pins around, every pin is a Code Week activity. So this is really something that we want to show that Code Week is happening in your village, is happening in your region, is happening in your country. And so I think this was since already several years. For several years, it has been a powerful tool, right, Annika?
Yes, and it's also a way for you can go online and search for activities now, of course, even more so today when we have a lot of online activities that are open to everyone. But also after Code Week is just 2 weeks, and we like to think of Code Week as is like every week a year. So if you want to do some coding after Code Week or before Code Week, go to where you live and look close to you, which are the organizations or schools that are active when it comes to coding. That's a little bit the purpose of the map as well, like a catalog. So it's to immediately find some activities, now also online, but then you can also go back and see what was there.
Exactly, and you can filter the activities by keywords, and you can filter them by language. So there are pretty good things on the website. When we are talking about the website, because we still don't have yet the connection with our speakers and with our guests, if the colleagues in the technical production hear us, maybe we could play that video about the website when I explain actually what people can find on the website. So if we have the video ready, we can put it there, and in the meantime we will hopefully solve the connection issue if the colleagues in the production hear us. Hello and welcome to codeweek.eu. Let's take a short tour through the website to help you find everything you need. First, don't forget that our website is in 29 languages. We want to make it as easy as possible for anyone to take part, organize EU Code Week activities, and learn how to code. On the homepage, you will find all the general information and all the links that will help you to start. But now, let's dive deeper into the top menu. First item, activities. And this is where the EU Code Week magic happens. We have a cool interactive map with pins, actually with many pins, and each pin is an EU Code Week activity. So this is where you add your activity if you are an organizer, or you zoom in to find activities nearby around you. Plus, don't forget to visit the scoreboard, where you can find countries, how they rank in terms of activities per capita. If you want to participate in online activities, check out our new calendar of featured open online activities. These are free of charge online activities in your local language or in English, organized by volunteers, businesses, or organizations from all around the world. Under the second tab, you find resources, and we have really tons of materials for parents, teachers, kids, students. In a nutshell, there is something for everybody. We produce some of them, for example, the Coding at Home videos, and the others are hosted on other websites, and we provide descriptions and links. If you are looking for concrete tips and suggestions, this section is for you. In the Ambassadors section, you can meet the EU Code Week ambassadors from your country. And under the tab Schools, you will find everything that EU Code Week does for teachers and educators. I recommend you check the guide that will help you to organize a coding session in your class, no matter the subject. And don't forget to watch the learning bits, because they are hosted by the most inspiring tutors and educators from the EU Code Week community. Now let's move to the About section. Actually, it's not as boring as you might think. Among others, it contains a section about EU Code Week values, where ambassadors and leading teachers explain what our movement means to them. Under this tab, you'll also find a page with all the information about this year's edition. We describe the EU Code Week dance and the treasure hunt. Basically, if you want to know what's new, this is the place to go. The last item on the menu is the blog, and it's really the heart of the EU Code Week community. It has a new design and it's much easier to navigate. So you can find all the great stories from activity organizers, ambassadors, businesses, and basically from anyone who has anything to do with EU Code Week. If you want to contribute, just drop us an email or send us a message on Twitter and we'll give you a hand. Now the really last thing is the orange arrow. It takes you to the private space. This is where organizers register their activities or ambassadors approve them. So I hope you enjoyed this quick tour and you see that there is a lot to discover at codeweek.eu. But now, let's grab a computer and let's discover the power of code together. Happy Code Week!
Thank you, Jakub. That was a really nice tour of our website. Now I think we have Mitch back online with us.
Yeah, hopefully, Mitch, if you can hear us. Sorry for the delays and sorry for the troubles. Thank you. Thanks. if some people would have had taken Scratch earlier, then maybe they have had more skills to ensure a good internet connection between Europe and the US, you know, with another cable. But okay, let us dive back into the discussion that we had, because what I wanted to ask you, if you agree, and based on what you said, I think you would agree that learning to code and starting to work with Scratch does not necessarily mean that a person needs to become an engineer, needs to become a tech entrepreneur. Is it just today in the 21st century, just the basic digital literacy, another layer of minimum literacy that people need?
I do see it as similar with learning to write. Most people will not grow up to become professional journalists or professional novelists, but everyone needs to learn to write. It's both practical, but also it helps you learn to organize, express, and share your ideas. And it's the same with code. Most people won't grow up to become professional programmers or computer scientists, but it helps you learn to, again, reason systematically, think creatively, work collaboratively. And that's important for everyone, regardless of what they're doing as they grow up.
Thank you. Mitch, we have with us two teachers today, Michael Clergeau and Dimitra Purnar, and they're from France and Greece. Yeah. They're both IT teachers who work with Scratch. Dimitri is a primary teacher, and she has, for example, made a lesson plan where she combines Scratch and coding and art for culture heritage promotion. Dimitra, could you tell us in a few short words what you do with your kids in Scratch, please?
Well, yes. I teach IT in primary education. My students are very young, so we start with simple things to get acquainted with the environment of Scratch and block programming, then moving to small projects. We also use Scratch for our Lego. We do robot, and that gave us even a regional competition. But we also connect with other subjects like art. It was a lesson plan created as part of a European project. We aimed at an understanding of how digital copyrights and Creative Commons work. So we started with a half-finished Scratch project. The students had to finish it by uploading images to Europeana, which is a collection of art. Because students are always excited to use Scratch, so we use it as a trigger point to understand the subject of copyrights in art.
Thank you, Dimitra. You also have a question to Mitch, please.
Yes, I have a lot of questions. It is a great honor for me to have the opportunity. And thank you very much for this, and thank you, Code Week, for giving me this opportunity. So I would like to know your opinion on what is the future we should be preparing our students for. What is the place of coding in this future? Will it still be essential mostly for IT professionals, as it is now? Or will it have a place in everyone's CV as an important skill?
So I really do think it's important for everybody. I love the way that you're integrating Scratch across the curriculum, because in my mind, it shouldn't just be a separate IT or computer science course or computing course. The same way when you learn to write, you use your writing in social studies class and in history class across all of your classes. So it's great the way that you're integrating coding into all of the other classes. I think it's that it can be just part of a tool that you use in everything that you're going to learn. You start by learning to code to learn. You use coding to help learn other things.
Thank you very much, Mitch, and thank you very much, Dimitra. We also have another teacher from France, Michael Clergeau. And Michael, you teach a little bit older kids from 11 to 15. You are also an IT teacher. But I read somewhere that you do sumo robot fights. It sounds super exciting, and I can imagine that the kids would love it. Can you tell us a little bit more, and can you tell us also how you challenge your students with Scratch and how you use Scratch to really empower them in coding and in computational thinking?
Yes, hello. I use Scratch to introduce programming with the students, the creation of animations, maze games, something like that. and then have them program Arduino. So I use ArduBlock, but I can use Scratch to drive models like gate, elevator, and small sumo robots, because coding is the future for all of us, and children love a lot to create robots, program, and I fight against them. So it's every year it's a wonderful experience.
Thank you, Mikhail. And I understand you also have a question.
Well, I love the idea of connecting coding in the physical world, that you can use it to make things come alive on the screen, but also make things come alive in the world. And I know we often focus to make sure there's a wide range of different things you can do, because different kids have different interests. So some kids might want to make a robot go through a maze. Others might want to make an artistic sculpture that starts spinning when you approach it. So it's great to be able to have these many different pathways that children can use coding to connect to things they're interested in.
Thanks to you to create Scratch, because it's the first program with a block, and it's easier for children to coding some robots or others like that. And I have a question about what did you choose a Creative Commons license for Scratch, and what are the benefits, advantage for education in general?
Yeah. So just to make sure people understand, we set up when people create a Scratch project and share it in the community, it gets covered by what's called a Creative Commons license, which means other people are able to make changes to it and use it as part of their project as long as they give credit. And for us, it's part of learning to be a good collaborator and a good community member, that the whole community will be more creative if they can build on each other's work. So we'd like to see the Scratch community a little bit like the scientific community, that people come up with an idea and then other people build on that. So we saw it as a way to let everybody build on each other's work. Now, it takes some getting used to. At first, some children will see that somebody makes a revision or an extension of their project, and they say, they stole my idea. And we talk about, no, it's okay for people to build on your ideas as long as they give you credit, but you can build on their ideas, and then we all benefit. When everyone shares, everyone benefits.
I would like to thank very much both teachers,
Thank
Dimitra
you, and I am
Mikhail.
very honored to speak to you and continue to make better Scratch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep on scratching.
Thank you very much. I think this is a very nice kind of almost close of this part. But last question towards Mitch. Mitch, if you can hear us, we are starting Code Week 2020.
It looks like the Alice production is frozen.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if that means that we're not being seen anymore.
Yeah,
I think, but do you hear us?
Do you hear us? No, I think again we have this technical issue.
Okay, maybe we just talk a little bit about Code Week
yes.
then, until we know. So, just going to give some basic facts about Code Week, I think.
Yes.
While we're here, can we have a conversation? I see there are 3 students in another of the windows here.
Okay.
Can you introduce yourselves and let me know who you are?
The thing is that Code Week, as you know, Annika, is run by volunteers. But maybe our viewers would like to learn more about this. So it's really a movement. It's really an initiative which is a grassroots, which is run by people who do it in their free time, or who really do it because they are enthusiastic about it. And so there we have on the ground several groups of people. We have the ambassadors, we have coordinators at the education ministries across Europe. We have also so-called leading teachers. Actually, we saw 2 of them a few minutes ago. And in every country, these are the people who work on the ground and who try to increase the impact, encourage more organizers to set up activities, and basically to spread the word about Code Week.
Yeah, they're really at heart of Code Week, but we also have all the other teachers, the thousands of teachers and millions of participants who are taking part each year. The aim for us with Code Week is really how to make more people aware of how computers work, what happens under the screen, what is an algorithm, how does it steer your life, and what happens when you code.
Yeah, indeed, we really want to empower people, and Mitch mentioned it already several times that that computational thinking and coding is not only useful in the school or at work, but it's useful in general, in your general life and everyday life, because it teaches you how to work together, it improves your logical thinking, and it also teaches you how to solve problems. And this is a skill that is very much needed in today's society. And of course, coding and Code Week is also a lot of fun, and all of this can be found, as we already saw in the video before, on our website. There's a dedicated page on Code Week values that you can check.
Let's see if we can have some statistics on the screen. The statistics. I'm speaking to the control room here. Otherwise, I will just speak it out loud. So over the last 7 years, we've had 10 million participants. And the average age last year was 11 years old, and about half were girls. We're very proud of that. 93% of the activities happened in schools, which is already very nice. Actually, there were over 72,000 activities taking place. And Jakob just checked, and there are actually 28,000.
28, exactly.
I was like, 28,000 activities, and
exactly.
We're hoping by the end of this program we're going to have 38,000, right?
So let's please register all of us the activities. But really, we focus on schools because we believe that schools are the best place to really reach out across the population, no matter the background, no matter the age, no matter the location. So and also this is what Commissioner Breton said in his video message, that it's vital that young people learn more about how computers work and what you can do with a simple line of code.
Now, because we have so many teachers, we're very happy that teachers and students connect with us. And we're going to see now if we can manage to connect to Finland this time. And class 5K in Jalava-Puisto school. It's very hard to speak Finnish, actually. But in the meantime, I can ask Jakub, what did you learn when you were in 5th grade?
So when I was in the 5th grade, let me think. So we had definitely, German as a language. We had math. We have, of course, biology, the basics. We had history. We had geography. We had a computer room in our school. It was the smallest room in the school, I think. It was next to the canteen, actually. They filled it with few computers. These were the very old computers. We played games like Age of Empires or Prince of Persia, these basic games. And we had a very specific thing. We had floppy disks.
I remember those.
Do you remember these?
I remember the floppy disks. They were very floppy. There's something meaning to their name. Well, I think these students from Finland, they have a pretty different view of what they're learning in schools and what you can do with computers. So with their teacher, Anu Kari, I'm not quite sure if we are connected or not. Yes, we are.
Very
Yay,
good. Hello.
Fantastic. Hello, I love your t-shirts. Thank you. So welcome to the EU Code Week Kickoff. And please let us know what you have done during Code Week. And most importantly, tell Jakob what you're doing instead of playing games in school.
Okay, so hello from Finland. In Finland, it's Innokas Network who tries to spread the word of EU Code Week. And I have 2 kids here with me telling a little bit about something we did last year in EU Code Week and what we have been doing since, and already what we started this year. We have here Luna and Dylan. We're a 5th grade class. So Luna, go ahead.
Hi, in 2019, so last year, our teacher, Anu, taught us a Cody Color game. We played it first against our classmates, and it was a floor game. So that everyone learned the moves. When we have learned the moves properly, we teach other kids in our school to play. And we also got to play the actual Cody Color game in the internet. And last year's night school, our parents came to the school and we challenged them to a game, and we of course won them.
And then you could tell a little bit about the next slide, please, about the EV3 robots.
The whole class learned to code EV3 robots. The whole class learned to code EV3 robots last year. We took part in the Innokas Network's local competitions, hoping to win a spot in the national competition. Corona mixed things up. Some of the kids made dance robots and others took part in the rescue course. This year we'll have another shot.
Cool.
And then what we've done this year?
This year we're also again spending night school today, and there will be no parents this year. Our Code Week started this year by quickly learning a robot dance, and we can't wait to start spreading it in the school and challenging everyone to do the same. And next week we're spending autumn break, so we're going to do this the week after that. Nanu told us that we will have another coding challenge sometimes
after next week.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. I would just have one quick question, because do I understand correctly that first you learn the things at school, at your class, and then you actually go and teach your peers, your friends, your students at school what you have learned originally? Is that how it works?
Yes.
And I have another question. So what was hardest? Who was hardest to teach? The parents or the kids, the other kids?
I think it was the parents.
I can imagine, yes.
But I saw that you do the Code Week dance, in the gym. So I hope that you will send us also some video of that.
Because we have an Instagram challenge. We're going to speak more about that, but we hope.
It's actually been sent already, so we're waiting for it to come up somewhere.
Okay.
Excellent.
Excellent. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much to Finland. Thanks for your activities and for your enthusiasm, because we felt it also here in Brussels how engaged and enthusiastic you are. So really, fingers crossed. Keep the good work and keep spreading the word. Thank you very much for all of you do, Anu, and then also the students.
Dylan has one quick question for you too.
Of course, yes.
What is your favorite thing about coding?
Sorry, what is the
favorite thing about coding, Annika? Apart from coding orange t-shirts.
Yeah, so I'm not very good at coding. I can do some stuff in Scratch. I like doing the stories, because you can do like a movie. I like that, to make like a movie, like a little story. That's what I like.
And so for me, what I like the most is that I have a challenge in front of me. And then I work, and then when I solve it, when I crack it, when I really, write a piece of code, and indeed I do it in Scratch or I do some basic thing in R, and not at all the advanced things. But when I want to do something, achieve something, and then I work on it, I learn by doing it, and then finally I crack it, and that's the best feeling ever.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much to all of you in Finland. We hope to see you soon dancing with us.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
And now we will touch upon a thing that we have already a little bit discussed, but we will go more concretely, which is bringing more Code Week online and giving more opportunities to people to participate to Code Week.
Yeah, we have this year a calendar of featured activities, which we have, because of the pandemic situation, we know that a lot of people have to be at home. We spoke about it a bit earlier. So we wanted to bring Code Week online and to offer lots of activities where people can do it from home. So, for example, on Monday, the 12th of October, our partner, Code.org, has an event for teachers. It's teacher training in computer science, in their computer science curricula. And on the 13th of October, on Tuesday, we have our leading teacher from the Netherlands, one of them, Pauline Maas, who is organizing a workshop where she's teaching anyone how to program a microbit, and you don't even need to have the microbit. It's like step A. Then she will do another course that Jakob will tell you more about.
So the next week continues with these open online events where anyone can participate. The next event on the 12th of October, on the 14th of October on Wednesday will be for the tech geeks, but also for the EU geeks, because we will merge the two words together and we will have an event called Code with Your MEP. Now, MEP means a member of the European Parliament. So we will really have members of the European Parliament in a virtual classroom together with other people who will connect and who will want to do some basic activity in Scratch. We will have Margotti Navi who will lead that workshop. And then on the 15th of October, we have two main things. One is the live event of our open online course called EU Code Week Deep Dive. It's a course which lasts 25 hours that you can easily take. You just sign up, register, and you have time until the 20th of October to take it. It will really teach you the basic concepts and how to teach or how to explain coding to others. It's good for teachers, but it's also good for parents. And so on the 15th of October, you will have the opportunity to connect already with the more than 3,000 participants of this online course. And then on the same day, as Annika already said, we will have Pauline again on microbit, but this time she will really talk and use the microbits themselves and show you the tips and tricks and what to do with these little devices. But Annika, let's stay a little bit longer with these online events. So can you just sum up how people can register, what do they need to do, and do they need to pay anything?
So to take part in our online activities, you go to the website, you find the featured activities, you find the event you like, and you register. They will probably take place on a platform like Zoom or Teams or WebEx. And they don't cost anything. They're completely free of charge.
And Annika, also about languages, because we are in Europe, we have many languages all around our continent. So are these events activities only in English, or are they also in other languages?
We have a few other languages, actually. There are some really nice events. For example, I found an event in Greek where the kids teach their grandparents how to code. And there is also a workshop in Dutch for girls on how to learn how to program in Scratch. And then it's my favorite, really, in Slovenian. So if you speak Slovenian, you're super lucky because you can learn HTML poetry in Slovenian.
That one I will take.
Do you know Slovenian?
Well, I don't speak Slovenian, but HTML poetry it's a universal language. You can speak in any of these. But really, the open online activities are there. You just go to the website. It's called Featured Activities, and there you can scroll through them. Every day, something is happening.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people that are doing it. It's not us here who are organizing them. Don't worry. They are our leading teachers. They are other teachers. They can be libraries or NGOs. There are also some big companies like Apple or Microsoft or Google or SAP and other companies.
Microsoft we have also doing so really these open online activities are for you in case you need to be at home in these difficult times. You can go online and you can practice coding. But now we've been talking a lot about coding, meaning working with computers, working with your phone, creating something with the technology. But in fact, Annika, do you know that coding is also about dance? Okay, so let's have a quick look and let's launch this year's EU Code Week Dance Challenge. Tonight we do it, we record and we post.
We're gonna do.
Okay.
So, this music that you heard is called Ode to Code, and it was created by Brendan Paolini, and the moves were created by Bianca Maria Berardi. She was the girl in the middle with the orange teacher dancing really well. And this idea to dance and program originates from Alessandro Bogliolo, who is a professor at the University of Urbino, and he's also the Code Week Ambassadors coordinator. And Alessandro, we were lucky, we have him with us today. After we saw this video, how exactly can people participate in the Code Week Dance Challenge?
Okay, first of all, let me say that it's a great pleasure for me to be here together with Linda, Mitch, with you. So it's really a great pleasure. And it's also quite funny to be invited to speak about dance, because I'm a computer scientist and I'm not able to dance at all. So the fact that I was invited today because of the dance, it's quite weird and very fun. And actually, I'm very proud of this dance and also of the fact that it has been danced for so long, because it was created 5 years ago, and we are celebrating the 5th anniversary of this dance and this music by Brendan Paolini. And I remember that the first time I spoke about this dance, it was in a taxi that I shared with Mitch, and we ended up making this dance within Scratch. So it's also a celebration of this event to me. And going back to your question, basically we want everyone to be able to take part in a EU Code Week in a fun way. And we propose some activities around the refreshed Code Week dance. So a dance that can be just danced. And I have probably just to say, because this has something to do with coding, because a dance is not necessarily something which is related with coding and with technology. But technology and coding are just a new mean for supporting your creativity. And dancing and playing music is something which is related with creativity. And wherever you have an idea to come true, you can try to use instructions and to provide instructions to someone else in order to make her or him able to dance or to play the music as you want. So the idea here is that, first of all, you can do something without a computer, and you can just, like in the video, program a friend or a parent or a teacher to do the Code Week dance. And needless to say, you can dance it by yourself, so you can dance the Code Week dance. Then you can use Scratch if you want to do some visual programming. And we have put both the music and the European Code Week characters on our website, so that you can download them and possibly upload into Scratch in order to make them become characters and sprites in Scratch with all the possible moves that will make you able to code them in order to dance over the audio to code. Then I'd like also to say that I had some fun by making a project that you can remix in order to make your own dance. And the project already includes the music and all the characters. Then you can even share your remix or your own projects on a Code Week Dance studio on Scratch in order to make it very easy for other people to find them and to enjoy them. If you want to do some text-based programming around the music and the dance, we propose to work in Sonic Pi and in EarSketch. You will find specific tutorials on a EU Code Week website, and you can even use your preferred languages if you want to do something else with text-based programming. And finally, you can even use a robot, if you own a robot, to make it dance the Code Week dance. So there are many different ways in which you can combine coding, music, and dance.
Alessandro, thank you. I mean, the variety is really large and wide, and we really want anyone, I think, can have an opportunity to participate. But now, what happens once you do it? Once you prepare your Scratch studio, prepare your Scratch, finalize your Scratch project, or once you code your robot to do a little dance, or when you record dancing your friend, what do you do next? How do you share it? How do you participate actually in this challenge?
Okay, you can do it for the sake of it because it's fun, but you can even take part in the Code Week Dance Challenge. So you have to dance, first of all, yourself or your team, or why not your pet or robot, and then you have to record the video and share it on Instagram. You can share it either as a story or as a classic post. In any case, you always need to tag and follow Code Week EU, and also to include the hashtag Code Week Dance in order to make it possible for us to find your videos, because we will select winners every day and announce them on our Instagram channel. And if you win, you will get some cool orange goodies. So it's worth it.
Thank you so much, Alessandro, for that explanation. So you use this hashtag that you can see, and you can win these beautiful T-shirts, pins, and lanyards,
bags.
And
I think
bags.
also.
We have lots of stuff for you.
Now,
hope you like orange.
Yes, we love orange. Thank you so much, Alessandro.
Alessandro, thank you, and
thank
we
you.
look forward to seeing you dancing.
Yeah.
Now.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Now, last year, 4.2 million people, we mentioned it already several times, participated in EU Code Week within over 80 countries. And now I'm just thinking how it would look if, for example, half of these people
It was massive.
danced, on the street. Maybe we should next year think about, even more people dancing.
A synchronized flash mob.
Synchronized flash mob
all
with
over the world.
Robots and Scratch characters and everything around, and of course people dancing. But okay, let's come back to the numbers. So 4.2 million people last year, but and this was also, you mentioned it, half of them were girls or women, which we are very proud of. But unfortunately, this is not always the case in the tech world, this parity, this balance, because only 17% of people working within technology are women. So let's really touch upon this subject, because this is a really situation that needs an action. And I guess our next speakers, our next guests, will have some ideas on that, right?
I think so. We have two women with us today that really have this at their heart, their cause. They're working a lot to involve more girls and women into tech in different ways. We have Dipti Chander, who runs a French non-profit organization called Emma, which aims to get more girls involved in coding activities and STEM. And STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and maths.
And we have on the next screen, we have Linda Lucas, who is the children's book author who likes software and sparkles. We'll talk about it later. She wrote an excellent book called Hello Ruby, and now she has also launched a series of videos of online tutorials and lesson plans to better explain what is computer science. And let's have a short teaser, short look at one of these short videos, how she explains computer science by using flowers, vegetables, and candy. It will be very sweet. Now, it's really great pleasure of having you both with us today. I will start, Linda, with you. As I said, on your website, you say that you like software and sparkles. I was just wondering, I hope you have never seen your computer or phone sparkling, just to reassure.
No, absolutely not, but my computer computer and phone are often covered in all kinds of weird stuff. So no sparkles as of today, but a lot of dirty
Okay, let's just be careful with these technologies. But now, in one of your videos, you describe programming, what it is and what is not, and you also say that really what people often think that programming is and it is not. But I wanted to ask you, when I watched this, how often do you meet people who tell you that programming is actually, creating spreadsheets or searching something online? How often this occurs to you?
I think there's of course people who come to me and say that, oh, like as a young woman or as someone who talks about software in terms of like colorful and joyful things, you can't really know what software and programming is about. But less and less so. I think there is more and more room in the realm of software and coding for us to express the kinds of things that we feel programming is about. And also the world is changing to the extent that it used to be so that software was about databases and Excel sheets and optimizing difficult problems, but nowadays software is touching every area of life, be it the hospital systems or the way we consume entertainment or the way we communicate with our friends or families or the way we organize events, to that matter. So saying and being someone in software that doesn't necessarily look like a software person is becoming more and more okay.
Both of you work a lot with getting more women and girls interested in coding. And I wanted to ask you, Linda, why do you do this and why is it important? And how do you encourage girls to start discovering the world of coding? Is it different from boys?
I don't think we have the research yet to be able to say conclusively that girls are different learners from boys when it comes to computer science. So I would be quite careful on that. But I do agree with what Mitch said earlier, that we need to offer different kinds of pathways for different kinds of kids, beyond gender also. And from my sort of anecdotal experience, I've definitely experienced that for many girls, it feels like computer science that includes teamwork, that includes thinking about computer science as one other tools for them to express their ideas, just like crayons or posters or Play-Doh, is the way to go.
Okay, now Dipti Chandra, you are really a role model for many girls and for many women. But I found an article online and I just must ask this question, because in this article I saw that at high school you were not the most excellent math student. You did not have the best results in math. Now, where was the turning point, and when and how and why you finally decided to go and study computer science?
Thank you for the question. Sorry for the noise behind as I'm in some other meeting, but thank you so much for the question. And I knew you're gonna ask this to me. So to be honest, the article you read mentioned that I had a 4 average mark in mathematics when I was in high school and in school, and that's true. But one thing I want to make clear for every people listening to me, and girls and boys, is that you can do coding even if you do not have 20 in estimates of marks in mathematics, which is super important, is that coding is something logical, and you're gonna slowly through coding learn some let's say key things of mathematics. So you should not be afraid of the fact that you do not have good grades in mathematics, and you should not stop yourself to do coding. I think this every coder could say this to you, that coding is more about logic and following each steps, instead of thinking that I'm good or not good in math. So this is super important, and that was really my journey, is that I had a lot of people who told me that you're not good in math and you can't do computer science, you can't be a developer, and I just wanted to prove them the opposite. And that's why I get myself engaged in computer science, and I always wanted to do that. So I did it, even if a lot of people just told me that I am a girl and I can't do it, and coding is not for women, it's reserved to men, and this is something my counselor told me. And at that time, it was very hard to understand that women can't do the same jobs as men. And I personally, through my NGO, EMA, I personally fight for this because I believe that every woman and every person on the planet, women or people coming from every country, every background, can do whatever they can in terms of field. And computer science, it's amazing field. Being a developer, it's just amazing, and anyone can do that, even if you're not having 20 out of 20 in mathematics.
Thank you.
Well done, it's a great story.
So, but there seems to be a problem still, because according to a Microsoft study, girls seem to be interested in science, technology or computing when they're like up to 11, 12 years old, and then this dwindles down and they don't care so much more. So what do you recommend? I mean, maybe you can also give your personal experience. How come you were even before the generation that's now? And also, what would you recommend to teachers or other trainers to do who meet these girls every day? What should they do to make girls more interested in STEM or coding?
Yes, so it's been since 2013. I'm working on this topic of gender equality in computer science. Why women is not getting involved, and these are amazing fields, as you mentioned before. The thing is that today computer science is not represented, or I would say technology is not represented as it should be. I mean, if you talk about doctors, nurse, etc., you know concretely what are their jobs. And today, when it comes from talking about developer or talking about other technology related stuff, job, people do not know exactly what is it about. And it's also solving a lot of problems of the society, not only being a doctor or a nurse, which are amazing opportunities and amazing jobs as well. The thing is that what we need to do, and we need to do it very fast, because technology is growing very fastly. At the same time, we really need to involve all the government of every country and tell them that computer science must be another subject compulsory in high school and in school, because it's part of our world today. I mean, everywhere there's technology. When you work in the road, you see technology. When you use your cell phones, you use your computer, everywhere. And the representation should change of what is to be a developer, what is to be in technology, and this come from through education. And that's our fight with Emma, that through education you're gonna help people, help girls to give them all the technical skills. So at a certain time when they want to apply to a job, but they don't, because they think they do not match 100% of the requirements in the job, which they should not think like this, because a man doesn't he just apply to your job even if he's just having 30% of what's required. And this come from education and telling to the girls since the youngest age that you have now the technical skills because we're giving it to you. So just apply, go in computer science and make those AIs, those amazing products which gonna shape the world. But this had to start at the earlier age, and Code Week is completely aligned to what we are doing with EMA, is giving the technical skills at the earlier age. But the thing is that we need to do it all together, not just one event or two events, but it should be something start at the earlier age and compulsory, because that not going to change. And unfortunately, there is some statistic that's shown that it's going to take 200 years to get equality in every field, and that's so sad. I mean, I can't imagine that 200 years to get equality in the world. I can't believe, and I can't do that. I mean, I need to fight for it, and we need all to fight for it, because women and men make amazing projects together, and they need to do it together. And technology have amazing opportunities which going to shape and solve the problems of the society.
Thank you, Dipti. I wanted to ask Linda as well. That was a fire speech, Dipti. Yes. Really nice. But the question, maybe you don't remember it, Linda, it was about why girls lose interest, maybe your own background a little bit, and what should teachers do to make girls more interested? What happens? Why? What are your advice?
I'm not sure we should try to fit in so much. I'm a little bit of a rebel in that sense. I think there's a lot of discussion around how do we make women and young girls enter the workforce of technology. I'm a little bit of a pirate flag person, and I think we should pave and project the kind of technology world we want to see. And I think for teachers, teaching computer science in primary school, it shouldn't be only about coding, that's one thing. It's about developing a love of learning and offering widely applicable and long-term ideas. So that's one thing. And it's a new perspective to the world. And we shouldn't teach computer science only because it's useful, but because it's interesting and really intensely creative. And the kind of thing I've learned that resonates well with my pupils is that computer science, it blends the intellectual pleasure of reason and logic with the practicality of engineering and the beauty of arts and the kind of change the world ethos of social sciences. So it is this kind of an overarching discipline.
Yeah, and you have also launched this new series of very short videos. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because those are about computers. It's explaining computer science, right?
Yeah, so I ran into this problem myself. I was like everyone else sitting this spring in my home and trying to think about how could I be useful. And I used to travel a lot around the world and teach teachers and help students learn. So, and I figured that there's not that much good information and online videos out about computer science as a field. So we made these 60-second short videos about the different topics of computer science, be it hardware, be it artificial intelligence, be it input-output systems. And the visual style, as you saw earlier, it's like, I don't know if Sofia Coppola or Wes Anderson fell in love with a computer. So hopefully something that no one needs to fear at all, something that feels inviting and welcoming and whimsical. And the response so far has been great. I've loved seeing teachers and classrooms around the world start embracing the materials and use these videos as a part of their remote learning process. So it's been a lot of fun, and they are free of charge as well.
Linda, well done. I mean, I watched the teaser for the videos, and I would have jumped on it, you know, now or even when I was 10 or 11, definitely. So it's really, really nice videos. I definitely recommend them. Yeah. Now, Dipti, towards you, you mentioned also your organization EMA, which is also a very nice name, by the way. But what do you exactly, how do you encourage the girls in particular to take, to decide to improve skills in STEM? And also, what are your activities within Code Week?
Sure. So we do a lot of activities before COVID, I would say. Since COVID, the physical activities we were doing in high schools and schools, we had to stop it. And I want to talk about one initiative we launched during the COVID is Code at Home. We started in this initiative called Codez chez vous in French, and specifically it was for France, and in 3 months we trained 1,270 kids to coding between 8 to 12 years old and 13 to 16 years old, with content which were different, of course, according to the age. And we had an amazing number of women joining this session. So we had 48% of young girls who did this session. So it's half. I was so happy because I was not expecting, when I started the project, I had one member around my team in my personal work, not at EMA, who looked at me and said, it's not going to work. He was a male developer and said, no, people not going to connect online. I mean, the COVID is very hard situation. They're not going to come. And that gave me like the fire inside of me of doing it and proving him the opposite, that even women can code and can be interested even if they are at home. And we had these good statistics, and the Code at Home initiative helped us to get kids connected from Africa, from India, from every country of the planet. And now we launch it again in English, and it's going to be proposed to every kids around the world, around the planet. And we hope to train through technology billions of kids, because the thing is that through technology we can scale rapidly this program, and we can train kids who are in rural areas and girls who are in rural areas. And this is super important because these girls do not have access to this technology and perhaps never see they never saw a computer and they don't know how it looks like. And through this program we're proposing, and we thank Annika because Code Week is going to be part of and partner of this initiative, and we will be doing session during Code Week next week. So for kids in France and in Europe for the Code Week, and even after for the Code at Home initiative.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dipti.
We're going to connect now. If you stay online, please. We're going to see if Zoom and all the little lines of codes are going to bear with us on this, but we're actually going to have 4 links now. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. We're going to try to build a bridge to Ireland, where we have students. This is extremely hard to say. We have students from Cloneshill National School in Galloway and students from Gael Scoil Bhríde from Durlas with us today. And they are going to tell us more about the projects they are working on right now in school, actually. I'm not sure if they're there, but if you are, I would like Tiernan.
Yes, we have them.
Oh, we have them. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Nice to see you. Hello. Great to see you again.
Thanks for connecting.
So I would like to start with Tiernan from Cloneshill National School. Can you tell us about what you're doing in your school?
Well, we have a big cluster of schools with 11 schools in Mayo and Sligo, where we're trying to be digital citizens, learning how to be safe online and safe coding. So we separated it into each classes will have different things to do for their coding and to help them learn and adapt into the way to code. And for example, like in junior infants, we did Scratch, Junior, and Bebox, and then we started in first and second, we started getting into normal Scratch, and we use it for quizzes and games, and also music in there too. And in third and fourth class, we did add-ons in Scratch. And we also use Lego Boost and Lego Redo and Makey. And we build projects with these to help us learn what coding is and how to code. And we made an earthquake simulator where there's like a platform where you could build a house or a bridge and see would it be safe during an earthquake. You could have a really strong earthquake, or you could just have a small little shake and see will it collapse.
That's super
in
cool.
fifth and sixth class, we use microbits with Scratch and also microbit make code, which is kind of like Scratch but a bit harder. And we also did Lego Mindstorms. Yeah. And I want to teach him the Code Week dance, but I don't think he's flexible enough.
I'm sure you do something with him.
You have 2 weeks now to figure this out. So if you try it, then you can get a T-shirt. But the earthquake simulator, it sounds super amazing. I mean, that's great. Now let's connect to another school in Ireland. It's this Gael Scoil Bhríde in Durlas, and there we have 3 other students. We have Sarah, we have Eve, and we have Cormac. We see you all there. So could you also tell us how you practice coding at school and how do you enjoy it?
So we practice coding at school with a Lego project, which is Lego Redos. So first we talked about like speed and how like cars have evolved over the years, looking back on the history over cars. Then we went into Lego Redo app and we followed the tutorial on how to make the car. Then we did some basic Scratch coding for it. It was like easy, it was kind of like Scratch. So then we used a Pasco sensor and we checked the speed of the cars. So everybody got to check the speed of their own individual cars. So we realized like that the basic car was like slow. So So we used like different like pulley systems, which were basically elastic bands that went onto the motor. So like there was a long one, and then there was like a shorter one that would like make the motor go quicker. So then we got to modify our cars to our own, like whatever we wanted to do to it. So like if you had big wheels, the car would go slower, and if you had small wheels, it would go a lot quicker. So we also had to balance out the weight because the motor would weigh down the back of the car. So what we learned from it was basically less is more. So if you added like music in the code for the car, it would like make it slower because the code is more complicated. But if you just had some of the basic like code to just make it go forward and the speed of the motor, it would go way quicker. And then we did the race with the sensor. So everybody raced, and at the end of the race, we went into the app with the sensor and we checked the graph, and you could change the graph to like kilometers and miles an hour, and some cars like hit a top of like 5 to 6 kilometers an hour.
Well done, it sounds great. Did you enjoy it? Do you enjoy these activities when you do them?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Now, we have here Linda and we have Dipti. And Linda, Dipti, you listen to these presentations, you listen to what these students in Ireland do. Would you have a question for them? Would you want to ask them something? Linda?
Sure. I would like to know, how hard do you find coding? Was it hard for you, or do you think you're gonna next time you're gonna do that, it's gonna be something very easy and you're gonna recommend it to your friends, for example?
Coding it's all about logic, so you have to kind of figure out what works best. And at the start it's kind of hard, but you do get used to it and you figure out what everything is. So then it gets easier and you can make all different codes. So yeah, I would recommend it. It's really
wow. Amazing, because I just wanted to listen to the logic. That's something you said, and that's what we're repeating, is that everyone can do it, and it's just a question of logic. Thank you so much.
And Linda, do you have a question to either of the projects?
Yeah. I've been studying a lot the history of computers, and it's been very surprising to me how many different kinds of people and how many different kinds of skills were needed in order for us to make the computers. Where do you think computers came from? Do you have any wild guess about where computers came from?
Who wants to have a go? You can put up your hand so we can see you. Yeah.
I think they came from Microsoft.
Yeah?
Good answer. They were.
Do you have do you have any thoughts from Gaelscoil, Regia? Not really. Linda,
where did the computers come from? Was the question.
I think we lost them.
Okay.
It's good, because I think this could be a theme for one of the European Code Weeks, because we needed such diverse talent to bring us the computers we know today, whether it was a poet who learned to program or came up with the first program, whether it was material scientists, engineers, mathematicians, social scientists, all kinds of people. And the computer didn't fall from the sky, or it wasn't one company who made it, but it was actually a lot of different people. So there's a lot of interesting history also in the computer field.
This is kind of a cue for me, Linda. This is going to be our surprise for a little bit. We were not really ready with this surprise for today. So we were not going to talk about it. But now when you say this, it feels like I really have to. I mean, I'm going to give you a peek. Like a peek preview.
Yes,
yeah,
like
that's what you say in English.
Yeah.
So we are actually trying to develop, or we are developing, like a little game together with the community, which we have done before. Alessandro did it. It was called the code hunting game. You went outside in parks and you solved like little coding challenges, and then you went to another place in the park or the city.
You scanned the QR code.
Yeah. So we thought we need to take this online. So we are actually developing a game which is like a treasure hunt online, but it's also combined with computing history and all the different people that are involved and have been involved. And it's like a community project.
History also. There's a lot of European history involved.
Exactly.
And European research, so it's really cool.
The treasure hunt happens on the map of Europe. It's actually the map of Europe which is the key to it.
So we will launch this in a few weeks, and it's still like it's being built. So we will also ask for input for more interesting people and inventions and technologies to put in this map. But I think in a couple of weeks we will be able to do that. We will send you a link, Linda, to ask for your input.
Exactly, and if you have suggestions, just drop us an email or tweet us on Twitter, on Facebook, and we will of course put it there. Now, we had the question from Linda and Dipti to the students. Do the students, guys, also want to ask something, Linda or Dipti, or you are okay with what they told us and how they presented their initiatives?
It works great.
It's good?
It's good?
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much then. Linda, Dipti, Tiernan, Cormac, Eve, and Sarah, and all your teachers.
Thank you for also the teachers who made this possible, who connected you to Code Week, and really thank you for your enthusiasm, and thank you for enjoying these activities, for enjoying the races, the earthquakes, the robots. This is why we try to spread the word and encourage even more people, because we see how you are enjoying it, and so we really would like to see more of these happening. And
super thanks to Linda and Dipti. You're doing a great job of getting more girls and women involved. We're very, very thankful. We hope you continue with that, as well as the kids. So thank you very much for joining.
Thank you. And now, really, also thanks to all of you who connected and who watched. I saw that we had hundreds and hundreds of viewers on Facebook. I didn't check YouTube yet. We had many comments. People were happy that we shared all these amazing stories, that we had all these amazing guests. And some of the things that were said really resonated also in the online space. So thank you very much. We are almost at the end. I just wanted to thank a few more people who are not in here with us, the studio, but who are around us, who help us to deliver this technically. We also have a Code Week team, part of it here in Brussels, part of it in Berlin. So thank you guys also for all your support. But mostly thanks to all the speakers and all the guests who participated and who gave us some amazing inspiration. And I think really the start of Code Week 2020 couldn't be better.
No, and really thanks to all the ambassadors, all the leading teachers, all the Ministry of Education people, the team here, and every single teacher and activity organizer out there. You're doing a great job. We look forward to this Code Week, and we hope to have even more than 28,000. I hope it's up to 29,000 now by this, at least by tomorrow,
by
right?
Tomorrow, yes. At least by tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We're going to go out dancing now. We hope you do the same.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye, and let's bring our ideas to life with Code Week. Thank you.
Absolutely. Bye.
And really thanks. Bye.